So Captain America Brave New Bird swooped into theaters this past February, and it's not that great. It's like 3 different versions of a story being held together by the previous goodwill of other movies and a bunch of CGI scotch tape. They did my boy Sam dirty as. The only thing that Brave New World actually accomplished for me was making me nostalgic for the previous trilogy. It reminded me how good these stories can be and how good those movies are. I'm not joking, I wasn't going to make this video, but I walked out of the theater so pissed off it motivated me to get up off my ass and make a video. So here's what I was thinking. I made an 11x17 Photoshop poster for each movie in the original trilogy. I want you to come along with me as I show you how I made them and highlight 2 core design techniques for each. And trust me, you are going to want to stick around for the Civil War poster at the end. It is a banger. I'm not kidding when I say it's the best thing I've done on this channel.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Please leave a like on this video before we get started so I can open up Photoshop and we can jump in. Every mediocre floating head fan poster starts in the same place. Image searching. After doing some digging, it became clear that I really wanted Cap for the first movie to be in this specific suit, which leads me to my first unique aspect of this poster, building your own Steve Rogers. Of course, I had to make this difficult for myself because there's basically 0 high-resolution full-body photos of him in this suit. But we're not out of options yet because I found what looks to be a life-size cardboard cutout of Chris Evans from the promotional materials when the movie came out back in 2011. It's the exact suit I want, top to bottom. It's a full-body look. I just need to quick run this through an AI upscaling software because I couldn't find anything super high resolution. So let's just... And... Oh. Ooh. Well, that doesn't work.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the?
So, looking at his face, what do we do?
Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it.
Lucky for us, I found a photo in the same uniform online that's high resolution showing his perfect face perfectly. We'll just use the pen tool to cut both of these files out and put them on our canvas. And we're gonna place the head layer over the body layer. We're gonna lower the opacity and we're gonna start lining up the features as best as possible. It's never going to be perfect, but what you wanna do is kind of line up the neckline with the chin and maybe the top of the head and the eyes. We're just trying to get the proportions correct. Now we're gonna use a hard brush tool and a layer mask on the bottom layer to paint away our bizarro AI head of Chris Evans underneath and start to fade the 2 layers together with a layer mask on the top one. Try and line everything up and bingo. We now have a close enough Steve Rogers, which is cool, and I love this photo, but here's the rub. We put all this work into getting this kick-ass image together, and now I kind of have to use it. I wasn't really thinking ahead, and I don't have a composition, so if I wanted to change, I'd have to get a new photo and restart, and I just don't want to do that.
Just a lot of work.
So that leads me to the second part of this first poster. It's building the scene. So we need to start kit bashing some free environmental PNGs to try and make it look like he's walking through a destroyed war zone. I've never really done this kind of thing before, and I know there's a lot better people online, so I appreciate it if you don't judge me when it looks like or do.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
So since we're balling on a budget over here, I need to find a free source for all these assets. And luckily for me, I found Vecteezy. They have a huge library of rubble and destroyed buildings already made in high res completely for free. The problem is you only get 3 per day. So to get around this, it took me a while and multiple days and multiple computers and multiple accounts, but you get it. You know, when you're poor like me, you make do. Either way, once we have all our pieces in place, we run through the same routine every Photoshop artist on the planet has to go through: hue and saturation, levels, and exposure. Then we throw in our other characters, add our big blue MacGuffin in the background, and we are in business. And that is my poster for Captain America, the first Avenger. Let me know what you think below. I really think my skills in light painting characters has improved dramatically. I love how the blue highlights wrap around Cap, and I feel like he's truly integrated into the scene. I also like how I was able to put together a picture of him that I haven't seen other artists use for this movie. Other than that, though, this might be the weakest of the 3 posters, honestly. I definitely found my groove as I went forward and improved each movie. You're really going to want to stick around for the Civil War poster. It rocks. Moving on. So following the rough composition we set in the first Avenger going forward, we're going to need to find another full body shot of Captain America looking like a badass. And this time I want him to be in the strike team outfit from the beginning of the movie when he's killing all those guys in the boat, which once again, I myself because it's really, really difficult to find. So if you can't find yourself a good Steve Rogers, you build your own Steve Rogers. Again, I know, we just did this, but it's different this time. There's a few more pieces we need to add. So what I'm going to do is take the body from this photo and combine it with the head from this photo, just like we did last time, and then put a shield on his back. Then we'll be able to place that in the center and we'll be in business. As always, we use the pen tool to cut his beautiful ass out, and then we start to layer them on top of each other with opacity, yada yada. We did this last time. Luckily, these photos are from the same photo shoot, so they have the same exact lighting, and it became really, really easy to line everything up. Now for the shield, I found this prop image from the backside, which is high resolution, and I'm looking at this official promo poster from the movie, and it looks
I just want to rock. Body of the
and it looks like, you know, it kind of sits right over his big ass shoulders just a bit. So I'm trying to get the exact sizing of the shield to match that as best I can. And just pull like this. And there we have it. Strike Force Cap. But we almost immediately run into another problem because I really struggled to find a way to get him to look cool in this composition. I really spent hours and hours and hours with this, and I just could not make it work. I hated it more and more as I went through. So we're gonna pivot. We gotta keep you sick on your toes. I still think this image of Cap works, but we're gonna do a way tighter crop like this. And light bulb, actually, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add tentacles kind of reaching over, like Hydra tentacles, symbolizing Hydra kind of taking over the world in the movie. And then we're gonna try and see if I can do like lasers pointing at him, as if there's people with guns and red dot sights kind of pointing right at his chest, right to shoot him. Does that make any sense? Is that specific enough to the movie? I don't know. Who the cares? Starting off with the lasers, it's super easy. You just need the shape tool and the pen tool. We put a few red circles over his chest, and we're gonna use the pen tool to just make thin red lines connecting to those dots. After that, we just mosey on over here to the filter tab and then go to distort and hit ripple. You wanna keep things small here. It's a subtle effect. Then we just add layer masks to everything and use a smoke brush. And then we're just gonna paint away things here or there because really a red dot sight only appears when it's going through particles in the air. You wouldn't see it if everything was just clean. Boom. Tentacles are also super easy. We just cut them out and place each of them around the shield and use a layer mask to make it appear like they're wrapping over the edges. Next is just a few quick hue and saturation layers, an exposure layer underneath so that we can paint in some shadows, a rim light from our light source in the top right. Boom. Hentai tentacles. What? I mean, Marvel hentai. I mean, I don't know what that is, of course. Hail Hydra. Anyways, basically from here on out, it's just more of the same. Find photo, place photo, color photo, final effects, move on. And that is my poster for Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Again, I'm pretty happy overall with this one. I think it has some pros and some cons. To be honest with you, this took me weeks to nail down. I did 3 different versions and it was really stressful and it was really kind of emotionally taxing because I felt so stupid and so dumb, but I think I landed at the end on something I can be proud of. You know what did have a baller outcome is the one we've all been waiting for. Civil War. Luckily for all of us this time around, we don't actually have to build our own Steve Rogers. I know, you're devastated. We don't get to look up close at all those pictures of his beautiful face, but I did find this awesome photo of him on DeviantArt that was already cut out. So shout out to this guy for the PNG and saving me. bunch of time. Having Iron Man behind him with a big explosion separating the two, I think is the main core idea here. So the first step will be creating a big ass fireball behind Captain America. This fireball PNG once again came from DeviantArt. Quick PSA. I had no idea there were so many good PNGs on DeviantArt, specifically about Marvel characters. Who knew? Anyways, we set this explosion layer to linear dodge add or screen, depending on what you want. You start layering multiple versions of it on top of each other to get different brightnesses and different intensities, but that's the idea. You duplicate it a few times and then you group them. Once they're grouped, we can mask away the bottom, a horizontal flat bottom, to make it look like it's spreading down against the foreground that we've set. Then we throw on a few more dust and particle PNGs, also from DeviantArt, around everything, and we can add a soft glow here by just doing a color fill layer, then doing a layer mask, filling it with black, and then having a linear dodge add brush and just lightly painting little spots of white around where it would blow out the metaphorical lens of the camera.
One eternity later.
There you go.
Nice.
Cap and the Flames Fireball thing or whatever it is are now fully integrated. Now all that's left is sourcing images of all the characters and building the composition. If you've watched any of my videos before, you'll know that I'm not super good at composition. I don't have the greatest feel when it's all said and done for like fitting the puzzle pieces of a floating head poster together. It took me hours, but I did end up with something that looks like this. I think that's pretty good. My favorite little detail here is I put Ant-Man on Iron Man's shoulder, kind of referencing that moment in the movie when he goes into the thing. You know it, you've seen it.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go.
And I know, speaking of Iron Man, before you go running to the comments and start giving me about his suit, you go look for Iron Man photos online from Civil War specifically. It's really hard. It's really hard. They made so many suits and there's not really that many high resolution full body images of him. I'm stuttering because I'm so angry at you for even accusing me of not doing this correctly. Now we just need to make sure all the Avengers are present and all of them have the proper coloring and some effects like Scarlet Witch's thing. I don't know what you call that, but once everybody gets the proper treatment, like Spider-Man's web here, we're finally ready, I think, to do some final effects on this and wrap this project up. That's my poster for Captain America Civil War. I know I say this a lot, but I think this may be the best poster I've ever created. And somehow it was the easiest of the three to put together. It was a weird experience. Honestly, I don't think there's a single thing that stands out as a negative aspect of this poster. The only thing I could think is that I didn't bother with doing a bunch of the explosion lighting on Iron Man himself. But honestly, as I started doing it, it started to distract and blend him together. And I really wanted him to stand out because he is kind of a co-main character in that movie. So I decided to forego it. Other than that, because some of the images are a little low resolution, but I really think those are just nitpicks. But if you disagree, please let me know down below in the comments, and comment down below which one of these three was your favorite. Does your favorite poster match up with your favorite movie? What's your favorite suit from the movies that he wears? Everything. I just want to have a full-on Marvel nerd fest down in the comments. I will be answering. I will be catching up with you guys. I love talking with you down there. One final thing before I go, please leave a like, subscribe, comment down below if you like what I do here. It really helps the channel and it lets YouTube know that it needs to show my videos to more people like you. I'm sorry this one took me so long to get out, but we are back and I'm making more, and I will see you very, very soon. I love you. Stay sexy. Bye.